It's your boy Coach Defense here. Thanking you for supporting the channel. Become a Lockdown Defender by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you're enjoying your time, hit that like button. Help us grow in the community. Now check out our latest video. Leave a comment. And as always, you got to step up to lock it down. Let's take a ride down the 405. Let's talk about Chargers Corner this week. And Coach Kurt, I'm gonna need your help with this one. You have to get me through this segment because we're in rough waters this week, man. I'm gonna be real with you. We're in rough waters. We're in rough waters. So the Chargers, we had a outing with the Chiefs over the weekend, and we're actually leaning towards a bye week this week. So there's no new game to preview. We're on bye week for week 5. So just getting into the idea of what happened the week leading up to the Chiefs game for starters. So, we get into the idea of we were down a bunch of Pro Bowl level players. Let's just say it that way. Rashad Slater was out from the game. He got hurt in the Pittsburgh game, so he was definitely not going to play. Joe Alt, who's looking very promising at right tackle for us, a high overall pick in this past draft, was looking good. He's going to be out with an MCL sprain. So the best parts of our O-line were missing. So that part was concerning outright. Then you add on top of that Justin Herbert was walking around with a high ankle sprain, right? For the last couple of weeks. So, I was of the ilk that you just sat him in the Pittsburgh game and took a mulligan on that game, which we ended up losing anyway. Then maybe rehab him enough to be right and upright and whole for the Chiefs game, which was seeming to be more important because it was a divisional matchup, right? Didn't do that. Justin wanted to play that game. He ended up getting knocked out of that game. So then he week he re-aggravates it in the game and he has to come out. So he's basically going back to ground zero with the injury and trying to be prepared to prep for playing the Chiefs. So I'm like, so now we got 2 tackles missing. He's even more hampered with his ankle. You definitely should sit him this week, right? No. They did whatever they had to do rehab wise, and I'm gonna say medicine because I know they shot up the ankle with some type of medicine to make it numb so he could walk on it, right?
Right.
So he tried it out there, wanted to play against the Chiefs, which I mean, pride aside, you want to play against Patrick Mahomes, that's your divisional rival, that's the guy you're chasing. I get it to a certain degree, but dude, you're missing both your tackles. On top of it, on either side of the ball, Derwin James gets suspended by some random means, and then I call it random because I just find it convenient they just picked this particular time frame to suspend him. When even Pat Freiermuth came out and said he didn't think the hit was a dirty or egregious hit, he shouldn't have been suspended for it. But whatever.
Right.
Suspend him, who was our best person that can cover Travis Kelce. That's ironic. And then Joey Bosa was already out because he had a hip problem. So you missed your Pro Bowl edge rusher, Pro Bowl safety, Pro Bowl tackle, starting right tackle, quarterback got ankle sprain. It just a recipe for disaster. And what reared this ugly head in this game was what? Some people argued on Twitter about it wasn't O-line. It was.
It was.
I'm gonna be plain and honest with you. Again, like I alluded to earlier, the best parts of our O-line were out, the tackles. So we've got issues, at guard and center. Because as much as I praise Zion Johnson for being and Bradley Bosa for being good run blockers, they're horrible pass blockers. Horrible. And then you got to go against the best D lineman in the game and Chris Jones in this game. So that's a recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster. And what happened? You had no protection throughout the whole game. Justin was rushed on practically every throw he had. He didn't have time to read and go through progressions, get anybody open. So it was just bad situation. You just stacking problems on top of problems in this game. And the game showed it. Now, we got out to a 10-0 lead, but that was indicative of the Chiefs turning the ball over, surprisingly. So I will say that, them having uncharacteristic turnovers helped our cause, but we couldn't sustain anything. Because, again, you couldn't run the ball because I said this last week and I'll say it again. Defenses are going to come to the party to stop the run now. When you run the ball, the clip that the Chargers have run the ball in the first 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, they really run the ball well against Pittsburgh. But but the first 2 weeks, J.K. Dobbins is ripping off, big run after big run. What do you think teams are going to do? you're going to load the box to make sure you can beat them a different way.
Right.
And on top of the fact that the Chiefs have been very good, very sound, and very disciplined in their run fits and how they play the run. Look what they did with against Atlanta and Bijan Robinson the week before that. So
Right.
again, you knew they were going to do their best to stop the run, right? So you have to have something else in your bag to combat the fact that you can't run the ball whenever you feel like it.
Right.
On top of the fact, again, you're missing O linemen, so it was just a situation where you shouldn't have expected much from the team. But yet again, they were in it, and kudos to the defense for playing very good defense and sound defense and keeping this Chiefs offense down for the most part. I mean, they only gave up 17 points, in this game, and that's probably the most points we give up all year. And that one bomb to Xavier Worthy was a mess. But outside of that, they played really good sound defense. They kept Mahomes in the pocket, played good rush lanes, good integrity, kept him from scrambling and doing his improvisational, things that he did, magic that he does. So, again, I think they played really well. But again, the offense couldn't move the ball, couldn't run the ball, obviously, against that front, and you couldn't throw the ball because you had no time.
True. So
again, protection was an issue, and not having a refined passing game was the Achilles heel in this game. So that on top of the fact that, again, and this is what I have a problem with teams, period. And we did it the same thing too. Even with Harbaugh, as genius as he is as a coach throughout his career, everybody makes uncharacteristic decisions against the Chiefs. Like they play outside themselves. Like, prime example, case in point. Harbaugh challenges a catch from a receiver from the Chiefs when it was a clear catch. Like everybody saw, it was no doubt that he caught the ball. He challenged it, cost us a timeout. Unnecessary, which again costs us down the stretch because you didn't have enough timeouts to burn in order to get the ball back, right?
Right.
Then you go for it on 4th and goal when you're down 7, when you could kick the field goal, stop them, get the ball back, and then try to win the game. Go for 4th and goal and don't get anything at all. So again, uncharacteristic yet again. So again, that always bothers me how teams play outside themselves against the Chiefs, which allows them to be able to win these games when you have them on the ropes. But the problem is we have a good fighter on the ropes. You got to knock him out, right?
Yes.
You just don't do that, and that's why the Chiefs keep winning. But again, I give kudos to them the fact that they play good defense, they play good sound defense, they contain Mahomes for the most part. You didn't allow him to do improv and extend plays and do things that he normally does. So I give him credit for that. But the offense just didn't help out the defense this week, and that's normally a shock. We normally have good offense and bad defense, so it's just a complete flip this week.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, overall, like I said, I mean, I give the defense a lot of credit, but again, I wouldn't try to Justin Herbert out there. The only thing we can say is that he didn't re-aggravate it anymore. He didn't get rolled up when he gets stepped on, so he's not any worse off than he was going into the game. So that's a plus. And he has 2 weeks off to heal. So hopefully that does bode well for his overall health. Because again, that's not only a high sprained leg that he has, but he has the same leg in the plantar fasciitis in. So you got 2 ailments in that one leg. So if something goes wrong in that leg, before he's fully healed, then it could really tank the season. So again, they were very risky in the idea of having him play. I think you should have saved him from himself. But I don't get paid the big bucks, so that's just me. But for me, going into the bye week, I think you should have a to-do list here of things you should try to accomplish before you get into the next week against the Broncos.
Okay.
So number one, I would say you need to reevaluate Josh Palmer's role as a receiver. He provides no value to this receiving room. He does not. He's not an elite route runner. He doesn't have elite speed. He's just a guy. And then what you expect from a 3rd to 4th round pick, you're not expecting much in the first place. But for him to be the person getting the majority of the snaps at receiver, he's not giving us much.
Right.
And from a receiver perspective, I think you need to reevaluate his role. Also establish what the pecking order is in the receiving room. It really needs to be in order. And I think Josh Palmer shouldn't be a part of it, honestly. I would argue that I would spend some time to try to develop Brendan Rice, and I would have not cut Cornelius Johnson. I think those 2 guys have bigger and better upsides than Josh Palmer does at this point. I think that Brendan Rice runs better routes than Josh Palmer. I think that Cornelius Johnson has better speed than both. He has an over the top element to him, and he's 6'3". He's a long striding 6'3". He runs a 4.4 to 4.340, I think, or some stretch of that nature. He's a Michigan guy. He's Harbaugh's guy. So I would have kept him more so than putting my stock into Josh Palmer being anything as far as a number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver on this team. So need to evaluate that. You need to establish the pecking order what the receiving core is going to look like, because that reiterates my point about the run. You have to establish the pecking order and what you're doing with the receivers and to build on that, because teams will load the box going forward. They're going to take what the Chiefs did and what the Steelers did against us and use that as a blueprint on how to stop this run game.
True. Healthy
or not, if Rashawn said is all that's out there or not, they're going to do their best to limit this run and make you throw the ball.
Yeah.
Now, Justin Herbert, as good as he is as a thrower, if you don't have anybody that's open, it's just not going to work out. Which leans into my point about how I deal with your future concern should be. And this could be a trade deadline move. This could be a future move, but you have to address the fact that you need a number one receiver on this team. If Amari Cooper is available and you can trade for him, I would make the call. At least for this year. I will let him ride out this year and figure out, because he had 1 year left on his deal. Let him play this year out in that contract, and then we can discuss what to do with him in the future. But he will be a good number one receiving threat for this team and a good, steady, solid Keenan Allen-esque target for Justin Herbert. I would think of that. I will also consider having some type of tight end that can catch the football and be good after the catch, because as good as blocking as Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst are, they're not good receiving tight ends. They're not.
True.
And you need that guy in the middle that can take the pressure off the receivers on the outside. Look what Travis Kelce and Sam Laporte and these guys do for offenses when you have to account for them. Nobody has to account for our tight ends in this moment. They just let them be out there and just be flailing in the wind. They're not checking for them. They're just really to the point where I'm going to keep Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey at bay, and I'm going to worry about, not worry about the tight ends at all and stop the run. That's what the blueprint is right now. So I will monitor the trade market, see if we can bring another guy or two, maybe a wide receiver and a tight end. I would love both. At this moment, somebody can catch the football and make them be a sticking point or a scouting report note for defensive coordinator to say, hey, we have to account for this guy. Because right now they're not looking at our receivers or our tight ends like they're threats.
Right.
And most importantly, get healthy. Got to get healthy, man. And Justin got to heal that ankle. Joey got to get healthy. Rashad and Joe got to get healthy. Durham will be back. So we got to get healthy on that side of the ball and get our guys back. Once we do that, I think we'll be better. We'll be all right down the stretch. But just working on our philosophy and what our passing game is going to look like and get healthy, man. That's the biggest and most brightest thing we got to do. Yeah. Gotcha. So we got 2 weeks off. We got this week and next week off. Then we'll play the Broncos in week 6. So we'll see how things go there. And I'm looking forward to that game. But we'll break the Broncos game down next week. But that's what I have with Chargers Corner. Anything that you want to ask me, add to it, get any clarity on before we move
on? So you talked about the receivers. Do you see this being the moment that Quentin Johnston makes that leap?
He has to. He has to, because if you look at it like this, if you can't steal the spotlight as a number one overall pick, a number one draft pick, as a first round draft pick, let me say it that way. As a first round pick, if you can't seize the opportunity now, then you may not be it, period. Like you may be a complimentary guy, but you'll never be a number one guy. Because again, the room is there for the taking. Josh Palmer is not better than you skill set wise. Ladd McConkey is great, but he's a slot guy. So if you want to be a number one outside receiver, now is the time to basically take the job and make it yours and don't give it back. If you don't seize the moment when the moment is there, I'm sure Harbaugh and other guys will be looking at other areas for production at some point.
Gotcha.
He had some flashes. I mean, he had those touchdowns in the previous games, but he was non-existent in the Chiefs game. Non-existent.
Right.
So, those are the games you really need a guy like him.
Yeah. Who's the other pass rusher? Oh, it's Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Here's the other rusher. Okay.
Yeah, we got Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, and Bud Dupree. Those are the other three edge rushers. Yep.
How's Bud doing?
Bud doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. They stole a sack from him in the game last Sunday, but yeah, he's doing pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, he's doing spot duty. He's not playing. I mean, I think Khalil and Tuli are playing the edge on rundowns, but he's coming in as an edge rusher specialist. He's just rushing.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. No, that's all I had.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, like we'll see how things look down the road. Hopefully everybody can get healthy and get whole, and we can figure out this receiver room and move forward from there.
Gotcha.